TechIDElevate is TechIDManager's elevation and UAC prompt management product. Here's what it does. When an end user goes to run something as admin, they see this window. To request permission with TechIDElevate, why does this need to run as administrator? They can put in a reason, put in demo, and then they can request the permission. When they do that, TechIDElevate on the technician's computer that are allowed to approve it flashes. There's a new tab for Elevate requests. It shows who that user is, what machine they're on, what they're trying to run, whether there's a sign-in certificate that is trusted or not trusted for the executable, their friendly name and RMM name, all the information about them, what IP address they're from. The technician can look at this, they can call that person if need be, they can confirm, they can then approve or deny that request to run. When they approve it, that thing is run as admin for that user in a specialized control context as a special user, so that not their entire user process doesn't get elevated permissions, just that one thing that they are trying to run. This is TechIDElevate. It has notifications in the mobile app. It has notifications in the desktop apps, notifications that pop up. This is what that is for. On the portal, you can see there's a new agent screen with icons here that specify the types of things that each agent is doing. There's now an icon for TechIDElevate. You can enable TechIDElevate en masse, and if you click on an individual by selecting them, the grayed out ones are the ones that have TechIDElevate capability, but it's not enabled. And you can en masse enable or disable them. You can also click on an individual one and enable or disable TechIDElevate individually. There's a new menu item over here for Elevate, which has the requests in it. And if we make a request, we see that both the TechID client has the Elevate request in it, and if we go to the requests on the portal, this has all of the requests that are currently live from people on the portal and how long ago they were. Managers can approve and deny these also. And when a manager approves in the portal, it runs the same way as if a technician had approved it. There's a new menu item here also that has the auto responses. These are the things that are automatically allowed based on path, arguments, hash, whether the certificate is trusted or not, IP address, agent name, machine name, username. You can limit what is allowed to run or not run en masse to auto approve or auto deny. If you are looking at, and then you can also determine who has, by TechID group and agent group, which technicians are allowed to approve what requests. These are called Elevate scopes, the scope that a technician has to approve Elevate requests. Under reports, there's also now an Elevate scope report, which shows who has permission to approve what Elevate requests on what agents, which groups, just like the triplet access report. There's also an Elevate history, which shows the elevation of everything, who elevated what and where, and all those other things. You can convert any of those to an automatic approval if you want. So when you click convert, you see that you're going to automatically approve this path with this exe for this hash, this on this user for this machine. You can remove any of this information that you would like to allow more wildcard for. So this will only approve cmd.exe with this hash in this path that is trusted by this certificate for the user Martin from this IP address on this machine. If you want to in general approve it for, doesn't matter what the IP address is, or the user, so that this agent or any computer, if I save this auto response, any computer can run command.exe with this hash, this trusted certificate. There's also, I'm not going to save that. There's also the log history now has Elevate responses in it to see that I approved this Elevate response as a technician, and you can see here I, as a manager, approved this Elevate response. There are all the details in there. This is the manager's email address. If we look at the one that was approved by the technician, it has the technician name and their GUID, the status, and the Elevate request ID, and you can get all the details about the Elevate request ID by going to the Elevate history. Everything is there about it. How long it took to process it. This one took 18 seconds. This one took 30 seconds. That is the time from when the user clicked request permission to when the technician or manager approved it and it ran on their machine, or they denied it and it did not run on their machine. To enable this, any agent version 6.680 or newer in the portal, you can go into the individual agent and click enable or disable the TechIDElevate. From the list of agents, you can multi-select any number of agents that have TechIDElevate, that are TechIDElevate capable, and enable them, and enable all of them at once. You can also enable from the command line in the machine itself. So you can enable this from a batch file, a script file in your RMM. So if you go to Profiles, Ruffian software, TechIDagent.exe, to enable TechIDElevate from the command line or from a script, you can do TechIDagent.exe TechIDElevate will enable TechIDElevate. No TechIDElevate will disable TechIDElevate. As part of enabling TechIDElevate, normal users, not the administrator user, and not users managed by TechIDManager will automatically lose local admin rights on the machine. So TechIDagent, and you can enable or prevent that by remove local admin. Will remove local admin, or do not remove local admin will stop removing local admin. And you can see all of those options under the options for TechIDElevate when you do show, whether the 𝗰𝗶𝗶𝗴 prompt management is enabled and whether you're removing local admin or not, and whether the Elevate providers are registered. Also, this is all brandable. If you go under clients and branding, you can set the company name, your company name, and that shows up as part of the Elevate product. And you can set the Elevate icon so that everywhere that an elevation icon is shown, like here in this 𝗰𝗍 prompt, your icon shows instead of our blue and yellow shield with ID on it. To enable TechIDElevate in your TechIDElevate tenant, contact support@techidmanager.com and tell us you'd like to try it out. And we will enable it in your tenant, and you will see all of these new Elevate features. All right. Have a good day. Look forward to talking to you.